All right, everybody's live except for Joseph. All right, there we are. So welcome everybody, public and council and staff, to tonight's Strategic Planning Committee meeting. Before I call the meeting to order, I'd just like to acknowledge this meeting is taking place on the traditional unceded territories of Subasat, people of the lake, where we all live, work, and play together. So with that, I'll call to order this meeting, the Strategic Planning Committee, Tuesday, September 7th, 2021 at 5:50 p.m. This meeting will be held electronically and transmitted via council chambers located at 39 South Shore Road in Lake Cowichan, BC, as per Ministerial Order 192. So I'll call the meeting to order. And is there any introduction of late items? I see no hands. So we'll have looking for a motion to approve the agenda as presented. Moved by Councillor Austin, seconded by Councillor Bomacka. Thank you. Any further discussion? All those in favor? None opposed, motion carried. Then we can go to business arising and unfinished business. Ongoing items still being addressed. Item number A, moving on up, strategy report. Quite a lengthy report. It seemed to take months and months and months to get to this point, but here it is. And I'm not sure if everybody's had a chance to read through it all, but does anybody have any comments? Councillor McGonigal, please.
I think we did have a presentation of the draft from Ms. Sowery at a previous meeting, and this would be the final report as was presented in the draft form at that meeting. A very, very complex and well done report. I think there are some strategies and some entities on moving forward. But I would move that we accept the final report of the moving on up.
Thank you very much.
Poverty reduction report.
Thank you very much. Is there a seconder for that? Councillor Sandhu, thank you. Yeah,
and with that, if I may follow up,
please.
I think it's important that we look at the things to do within that report, and they remain within the strategic planning committee for any future possibilities of bringing some of those to fruition. So if this could reside within this committee, I think that would be appropriate, pending what and if we can do any of those points that were brought up in the final report.
All right, great comment there. Anybody else? All right, with that, I'll call the question. All those in favor of accepting this report? And seeing none opposed, the motion is carried. Thank you. There are no delegations and representations. And so we can move on to number 5, the correspondence of the Honorable Minister Popham, Minister of Agriculture, Food and Fisheries, A.B. Greenwell School property. And that's there for your information. If you remember, we had previously, council agreed to write a letter from the mayor, and you've received that letter as in your emails today, and this is the response. Councillor McGonigal.
The response does not surprise me, as the minister would not want to get involved in the independent decision of the ALC. Having said that, at least it was brought to the attention of the appropriate minister on the complexities of trying to have that removed. I'm wondering personally if it is still feasible to accommodate the purchase or the transfer of that building in its current condition, given how long it has sat, and the application to bring it out of the ALR has been long, tedious, years and years. Would it be more appropriate, and this is just me speaking, to as we had suggested earlier, request the demolition of that building and look at the transfer of perhaps some of that property for use by the town? And that's just me thinking that there could be some very expensive remediation given the time frame that has set vacant.
Yeah, thank you, Councillor McGonigal. As noted, the minister mentioned that at the bottom of their letter as well. So, Councillor Sandhu.
Thank you. So when I saw this letter, I hadn't seen the draft that was sent to the ministries. So I had no idea what was said for their response. Truly, I felt there wasn't much substance in the letter to the ministries that would warrant them to get involved. And I know they have roles that they don't override the ALR committee, but I think if we're going to push forward with this, we need to look at it in a different direction with more substance, and that's going to take some time. So,
Thank you, Councillor Sandhu. Anybody else? So that letter will remain for information for the future. So we have no reports. We have new business, and that's FCM 2021 Sustainable Communities Conference, October 19th to 21st, 2021. I came across that on the FCM weekly updates, so I just put it forward to see if any members of council would like to attend. Councillor McGonigal.
At the beginning of this term, we did do a draw to see which people would be going to FCM during the 4-year term. Unfortunately, the only one that was able to attend was Councillor Bomaka. I believe Councillor Sandhu missed last year in Toronto. This year would have been Montreal. And I believe that was myself as the councillor to go. And then Councillor Austin would have brought up the last year in Saskatoon or Regina, one of the two, Regina. But I would think it would be appropriate to have some sort of attendance, even if it is virtual. And if you are interested, I would most certainly suggest that the mayor would attend that. It's a great opportunity to even virtually connect with ministers at a federal level. We do it quite often at UBCM and AVICC on the provincial and local level, but to have your face and your community represented on the national stage is also important as well. I think we've seen some kickbacks from attending in the past on some grant applications that have been successful. So I would suggest that at least one, if not two, be able to attend virtually the FCM conference, as it will be virtual, I'm sure.
Am I mistaken here when this is only the Sustainable Communities Comp part of the FCM? This isn't the big FCM.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
But even the sustainability one will be appropriate. Yeah. And as chair of that, I would suggest that that will be appropriate for yourself if you were interested.
Yeah, I'd be happy to attend. So should we hear a motion that up to two?
I will make that motion that up to two attend the Sustainable Communities Conference virtually, FCM October 19th to 21st, 2021. And please submit your interest to Mr. Fernandez, ASAP.
Councillor Sandhu, is that a second?
Yes, with a question or comment. So at our last meeting, when it was brought forward from Councillor Austin to allow up to two to attend, it was pointed out that we all should have the right to attend. So I'm just going to bring that up, not to point at anybody, but
I will amend my motion to suggest that all those who are interested.
Thank you.
That's so noted. Thank you for pointing that out.
Thank you very much, Councillor Sandhu. So the motion has been amended, and we have a mover and a seconder. I'll call the question then if there's no more discussion. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Perfect. Thank you. Then we can move along to B, Canada's drug toxicity crisis and need for safe supply of drugs. I just asked to have this put on the agenda for possible comments from council or staff, as I did hear our MLA talk about this on the radio a week or 3 ago. So it's just there for anybody who wants to comment. There is a current political party in our province that believes that's the way to go. And it's okay if we don't have anything to say. Councilor McGonigal.
And that's where it should reside. I think we stay in our lane.
Yeah.
We support the senior levels of government whose forte is to take care of these issues and support them in any way that we can moving forward, if we are so inclined. I don't think it's for municipalities to implement bylaws, policies, etc., or even bring forward UBCM motions that are not within the mandate of what we are to provide to our residents. Safe drinking water, garbage pickup, roads, sidewalks. I think when we delve out of our lane, we lose credibility in the services that we do provide. But that's just my personal opinion. I certainly do sympathize with the number of people that have passed from the toxicity of the drug supply. And it's a difficult topic, whether it's drugs, whether it's alcohol, whether it's any other substance that is addictive. It is an addictive personality that makes for the major problems as well. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Councillor Bomaka.
Yeah, I'm just going to request that you send that where you got that information on to myself and any other councillors who might either want to see it or haven't seen it.
Sorry, from
this report to do with
it wasn't a report. It was just our MLA was talking on the radio about it, and it's bound to come up at a conference some point where we'll have to support or not support resolutions. So
okay, thank you.
So you'll have to do your own homework this time. Thanks a lot. Okay, item C, phasing out of single-use plastic bags. Just there for information and possible conversation. I read about it on, I believe it was UBCM email newsletter, and the municipality of Saanich, I believe, yes, I'll open it up here, has put a ban to single-use plastic bags. And I know there is one retailer in our community, one of the larger ones, that has stopped using them and charges for a purchase of paper bags. And I know the liquor store does that as well. So just wondered if there's any conversation there, Councillor Austin.
Yes, thank you. I use the cloth bags and the paper bags, and I'm happy to do so. I really think it's going to be hard to phase out plastic when you need plastic for all sorts of other things. Your chicken, if you buy a chicken or meat or whatever. And I do think it's going to force some people to be buying the more, for garbage anyway, the heavier duty bags. I won't mention a company name, but the ones that don't break down very much. Right now, I know people do use the grocery bags for garbage. I certainly have when we were camping and stuff like that. So I think we need to encourage people to maybe use the organic bags more for their garbage and things like that. If you can, that's what I do. They fall apart a little bit, but if you can do that and use newspaper and things to wrap things up and keep things in the freezer. So I think it's going to be a tough thing because everything in our world is made from plastic. And that's just, and those little old ladies that wear those little plastic hats when it rains, we're never going to phase those out. I'm never going to wear one, ever. Thank you.
Councillor McGonigal.
Thank you. And I know there is some interest in the provincial government moving this forward in the banning provincially of single-use plastic bags. I think we have to be very careful on the avenue. If we do choose this route, that we choose the avenue of not environmental portions, because again, that is not our forte. And we saw that Victoria failed in a legal bid because they were using the environmental entity, and we don't have that authority to go down that road. I would encourage people to utilize reusable bags, as Councillor Austin said. Most of us do that. The single-use plastic is an option for some people, but if it comes provincially to a ban, I think that that will be the avenue most approachable.
Okay. Very good. Anybody else on that one? Councillor Omeka.
I was gonna say that I know Lake Cowichan is a little bit different, but when I started to go through my drawers, that normally I have bags and bags and bags and drawers full of plastic bags, I actually can't find any and have had to go and purchase compostable bags because everybody seems to have gone to paper bags willingly in Lake Cowichan. So it's really interesting that I managed to see the change already, even though I haven't myself tried to make the switch. I do with cloth bags, but yeah, it's amazing that there's not one to be found. And customers of mine, they've commented too. They said, well, this may be getting rid of the plastic shopping bags that we all use, like Councillor Austin said, for garbage, but now we're forced to go out to buy garbage bags. So it's 5 of one and 5 of the other, right, to take into consideration.
All right. So thank you. So there's the comments on that one, and we can move along then to D if there's no more comments. UBCM Strengthening Community Services application status. And I had heard there was going to be an update in writing to the CAO, and I don't see it here, so I don't think we have anything to report right now. Nope. Okay, so moving along to public meeting on November 1st, 2021. Might be something we want to monitor closely during the month of October and see where things go and see if that's even going to be possible. I'm seeing some nodding of heads. So anybody got comments there? Mr. Fernandez?
Yeah, you will have to, after September 13th, show evidence that you've got 2 shots, 2 vaccinations before you can actually attend a public meeting.
Yeah.
1 shot on the 13th of September.
Yeah, and then
2nd shot in October. I didn't mean to correct you, but
no, you're right. I wanted to make it worse than it was.
Starting September 13th, yes.
Yeah.
So
that might be something we don't want to plan for right now, but we'll sit back and watch how things go. And if there's at all possible, we can bring that forward and see how the format we want to use for that meeting if we move forward. We can talk about that next month. That's okay with everybody? Okay. All right, notices of motion. None introduced at the beginning of the meeting. Public relations items. Did we wear ourselves out in the last meeting? There's a lot going on, and having attended the Clack festival on the weekend at Subasat Square, you know, I did make a statement there that it was really neat to see the community out and about again. I know some of us might think it's too soon, but it was nice to see something going on. I think that was the first official community event for a long time now, almost 2 years. So, yeah, good to see. Councilor McGonigal.
I went for a walk today, and just to see how it looks like the sidewalks have been rolled up and everybody's gone home. Just like that. The day after Labor Day, we're a quiet little community again. and it's refreshing. I know that the influx of visitors is welcomed, but it does bring considerable concerns and problems for our public works and other staff. But it's nice to get back to so-called normal, as normal as we can be in this 4th phase. But I want to personally thank Public Works and our staff in administration for all the work they did through this difficult time when we were so busy and getting us to where we are today. So thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you for bringing that forward, Councilor McGonigal. And the other agency in our community that was overstretched this year, especially more than past years, is the RCMP, with all the folks that are looking after the Ferry Creek issue are brought in from other communities, and so that's put a lot of detachments at a shortage of manpower. And then we usually ask for help for the summer for all the other activities going in town of Lake Couch and in the surrounding area, and they weren't able to get a very big uptake on that because they're stretched as well. So I'm sure we'll have a chance to say thank you to those folks at some point too. But if you see them on the street and you know who they are, just it's worth a thank you there too. And our fire department, of course, they were busy as well. Yeah. All right. Anybody else? All right, let's move along to question period. So we can pause for 3 minutes while folks call in to 250-749-6681 or email to general@lakecouch.ca, and we'll see you back at 6:14.
Joe, are we still live? Yes? Okay.
Okay, it is 6:14. If everybody could come on back. Okay, there's Council Bomaka. So, Mr. Fernandez, are there any questions on items on this agenda from the public?
Those 3 minutes do go by fast. I think people probably need more time to phone in, but there's nothing at all.
Well, it
Either
did
way,
give me
else
time
or-
to go. It gave me time to go and wash out my plastic salad bowl, my plastic fork, my plastic knife, and to dispose of the plastic wrap that they came in. Personal obs.
Nothing
All
at all.
right. Okay, thank you. So that's it for question period then, and no in camera tonight, and that leaves us number 12, adjournment. Looking for a mover, Councilor McGonigal, seconded by Councilor Vomaka. All those in favor? Opposed?